welcome back, everyone. What's that?
Am I like off-centered?
A tad, but you're all right. All right,
Yeah,
perfect.
that's better.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We have Phillies reliever Archie Bradley with us, same as always, and we'll jump right into questions. Who would like to start us off? Go to Scott.
There we go. Hey, Archie. I guess just generally speaking, first of all, how'd that feel for outing number one?
It felt really good. For me, things really don't change. Spring training to the regular season. I mean, you asked the guys in here. I was nervous. I was loud. I was really excited to get out there and start my career as a Philly. And anytime you go out there and throw up a zero, it's a good thing.
Is it bullpens are can kind of come together and take on a personality out there? You guys you spend the whole game out there around one another. Is it too soon for that to begin developing here in camp, or are you guys already starting to kind of figure out personalities and what kind of dynamic you might have down there?
I would say a little bit of both. It's tough to do it all the way until kind of your crew of guys that are going to be down there. But even with that being said, I mean, you've been here long enough. I mean, we're going to have guys that are going to come up and down throughout the season. And we're going to have a few guys that are going to be in and out. And so we're kind of starting it now. We're trying to create that identity and more so create who we are, the way we're going to attack, the way we're going to approach, and the way we're going to kind of talk and stay together. And really that's the biggest thing we're trying to create now is really us coming together from, the struggles last year in the bullpen, myself included, Kinsler, Watson, some of these older guys, Neris, we're really trying to step up and create a culture of what our bullpen is going to become.
How does that happen? Is that kind of organic or can it be created?
It's both. I would say here we have to create it. A lot of us are wearing a Phillies uniform for the first time. A lot of us are here for the first time. And so that has to be created. We all have our own theories and thoughts, and we've all kind of had our own careers respectively. And now we're all on the same team. And it's like, how do we make this thing work? What's the order we go? But the one thing we are doing, like I said, is we're creating an attitude of the way we're going to pitch out of the pen.
Go to Matt.
Hey, Archie. What did you think about the non-roster guys that were brought in after you signed? It seemed like they really were able to get guys with track records on minor league deals, which is usually rare.
Yeah. Weird time for these guys. Obviously, they probably weren't the happiest about having to sign here on minor league deals, but I'm really happy with the guys we brought in. Excuse me. Kind of answering the question earlier, like to create that identity, you have to have names. And there's names here on the back of guys' jerseys, names that guys recognize and are like, oh, this guy can really pitch, Oh, my goodness. My bad.
That's all good.
But, yeah, I mean, you're going to hear me say a lot, Kinsler, Watson, Neris, David Hale. These are guys that have pitched in the bullpen for a long time and in a position that's very volatile. So to still be around and still getting outs and now to add those guys to our team on top of who we already have on the roster, it just really is building a depth and a pen that I think is going to be successful.
And any of the young guys standing out to you? Romero and Brogdon were pretty good last year in the bullpen.
I would say, I would throw Spencer Howard in there too. I mean, these are all three guys that, if my numbers are correct, all have less than 2 years of service time. I mean, I think two of them debuted last year for the first time. So that's also part of this, is getting those guys, those younger guys, to kind of skip the learning curve, to get them to jump ahead and really understand how to get outs, how to pitch, and what our attitude is going to be.
You were a starting pitcher. Spencer Howard's a starting pitcher, but could be used in the bullpen. I guess, how do you see if he moves to the bullpen, is there a way for him to easily move back to the rotation if that was a situation?
For sure. I mean, I'm firsthand. I got moved to the pen after 2 years of starting to kind of just stay down there until a spot opened up, and I pitched my way into the eighth inning, and I haven't looked back since. And so from Spence to Vinny to these guys that are kind of in those swing roles, man, I'm really big on getting them to understand, just pitch well. Like, who cares if you're the fifth starter? Who cares if you're the long guy? If you just pitch well, one, you're going to help us win. And two, exactly what you said, there's going to be a chance where you're going to earn yourself the start again if you aren't a starter to start the season.
When you were moved to the bullpen, and I know you never came back, but if you were to come back that season, would you have needed like AAA starts or like
No,
how does that kind of work mid-season?
I was one of those guys. I started out as a long guy to start the year in 17, and I felt like that really helped me understand how to pitch in the big leagues. I didn't have to worry about starting the game, all that pressure and nervousness and anxiety. And for me, it was like, hey, you know, as a long guy, you get thrown in some crappy situations. So some of my first couple outings, we were losing by 5 or 6 runs. And for me, it was just about learning how to pitch in the big leagues. And those couple outings as a long guy helped me learn how to pitch in the big leagues, to where had I transitioned back to a starter, or like I did, I transitioned to the later innings, I now knew what I needed to do to get guys out the right way.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Archie.
All right, that looks like it's it for questions. Thank you, Archie.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Go Phillies.